G'day guys, welcome to Primal Waters. Today we're going to have a look at some different sizes of sharks that have been spotted in Australia over the years. Now, some of these sharks that I've got up here, hopefully I've got the scaling right. I've worked on it today, so I could have added a lot more sharks, but what I'm doing today, I'll just do the sharks that were sighted here in Australia. There's actually a lot more, but I've just picked these 4 sharks here. Later on, when I get a bit more time, I'll have a look a bit further in and do a few more of these images here where I'll scale up some of the shark sightings in Australia and other sharks around the world, especially submarine as well. So what we're looking at today are 4 sharks dating back to the 1870s all the way up to 2016. Now, I have done videos on these sharks, so hopefully, if I remember, I'll put them up top, and they should pop up before each shark I talk about. But here we go. So the first one we're going to look at is the top left. It's a 10-metre, 32-foot great white shark that was actually caught back in 1870. It's actually mentioned in the Guinness Book of Records, and the actual jaws for this shark are actually at the London Museum. So you can actually go there and check these sharks, the shark jaws out. Now, there's a bit of debate about how big this shark was. Estimates at this time, and scientists who have measured the shark jaws have are actually saying the shark was a lot smaller, probably around about 5 to 5.5 metres in length. The only issue with that, I guess, is that some scientists who have measured jaws on other different size sharks have worked out you might actually have 2 6-metre great white sharks, but the actual size to the jaws might be different between sharks. So there's still a lot of debate about how big this shark was, but it is mentioned in the Guinness Book of Records as being one of the biggest great white sharks caught. So we'll never really know how big this shark really was, because this was back in 1870s, and obviously there's no film footage or photos as evidence, but it's still really good to put this in this discussion, because it's, like I mentioned, it's in the Guinness Book of Records I think it's 11.1 metre. I've got it down as a 10 metre one just to help scale with the other sharks, but still pretty interesting. So Port Fairy is in Victoria. It's a nice coastal area. I've never been there before, but pretty neat story there. All right, so the second one on the right, we're looking at a 9 metre, 29.5 foot great white shark. Now, these were several of these sharks sighted between, I'm guessing, the 1960s and 70s during the whaling season in Western Australia. Now, I've talked about this one before, and it came up in a news article about stories from whalers back then, talking about strange things they've seen out at sea. And one of them were sightings of big 9-metre great white sharks witnessed by the whalers. They would say that after they've caught a whale, they have it tied onto the ship, and later that night you would hear splashing, carrying on happening, and as they would look down, they would see these large sharks feeding off the whales that are tied up along the ships. Now, they worked out the size of the sharks by the size of the sperm whales they had captured, and they were fairly big sharks. There's also another story as well, which kind of links into this one, where a guy in Western Australia would actually measure the bite marks off of these whales, and the estimated size were around about 9 to 10 metres in length. So now Western Australia and those waters are also the same waters where the 3-metre great white shark that disappeared, which was tagged, disappeared back in, was it 2004, 6, 2009, I think. So, but really interesting story. Okay, so we're looking at the bottom left here, and this is a 7.6 metre great white shark, nicknamed Big Ben. This shark terrorised the waters around Lady Julia Pierce Island between 1930s and 1960s. 1960s was the last time this shark was ever seen. Now, Lady Julia Pierce Island is about 22 kilometres from Port Fairy, which is the 10 metre shark above it. Same waters, so really cool that this story actually came across on looking for large megalodon sharks and that. But this is a folk story in Port Fairy as well. So it's also described at this shark actually having a 2 metre long scar down either the left or right hand side of the shark. But this shark hasn't been seen since. But a 7.6 metre shark, fairly big, pretty scary as well. Now I've whacked in some of these divers, as you can see, just to get some scale with the sharks as well. Now the last shark we're going to have a look at is a 7 metre, 22.9 foot great white shark that was spotted off of Marino Rocks here in South Australia back in 2016. Now this shark was spotted by a Surf Patrol helicopter, a Westpac helicopter, during January 19th. This shark was about 100 metres offshore. These guys spotted the shark. They actually got a photo of it. Looks like they must have been taken by their phone. Now, they worked out the size of the shark by using one of the rescue dinghies to compare the size with it. They reckon it was 7 metres in length. They also state that the photo doesn't do it justice. They reckon the shark was really, really big. So, but here are four sharks that I've picked. I wanted to share with you guys, trying to get some scale on the size of these sharks. Fairly big. I wanted to whack in deep blue, which is 6 metres, just to give you a bit of scale with another shark and that. But I just ran out of room. But later on, I hope to probably do a full page of different size sharks that have been spotted over the years in Australia and also overseas as well. Especially compare the actual size of submarine, the mega shark that was spotted in South Africa as well. So, but there you go, guys. Now, like I said, I've actually done videos on these sharks, so hopefully they should pop up above when I actually talk about them, so you can go check those stories out as well. But there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoy that. Like I mentioned, I'm going to try and do a full page of different sizes of sharks spotted throughout history and that, just to give you guys a bit of an idea how big these sharks are out there as well. So, alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment down below, hit that like button, share this video, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.